Howdy, this is Ranger. Welcome to Six Flags Over Texas. Today we're here to take a look at Fright Fest. Or as Kenny would say, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And it actually is a very good time of the year to come here to Six Flags Over Texas. The weather is a lot cooler than it is during the summer. Never cold though, very rarely cold. And all of the rides are open and you get some good night rides, plus all the haunted houses. So I strongly recommend coming this time of year if you can. The fountain at the front of the park is colored red for Fright Fest. And right behind it is the carousel stage. They've got an event here at 7 o'clock they call The Awakening. They bring all the characters out here, and then they have a dance party before they send the characters out to the scare zones on all corners of the park. We'll give you a taste of that right now.
Let us begin by calling out those who are dead. Hear my voice and come from the dark and stand with me on this night.
So the one major production during Fright Fest is in the Southern Palace Theater, and it is Welcome to Aranea's Nightmare. This is the same show that they've been doing for a long time. So if you're watching this video and it's 2024, don't worry, this show is still here. And it probably hasn't changed much. So it's kind of a little bit of everything type of show. There's a little bit of acting, singing, and dancing. There's some jokes. And the premise is Aranea here is getting married for the 14th time as all 13 of her past husbands have died. So a show that features singing and dancing about someone who's getting married for the 14th time. You'd think that'd be about Paul McCartney, but no, it's actually Aranea. So good show. Definitely recommend watching the show if you come here, but again, it never changes, so don't feel like you have to watch this every year. I'll talk about the scare zones real quick. One such is the bayou, which goes through here. This is the area by Superman, and not a whole lot going on at the scare zones anywhere in the park. There's really just a few actors that come out and scare you. I've actually walked through some of these a few times and not even seen any actors at all. These are free though, so unlike the haunted houses, you don't have to pay anything extra to go through these. So the Halloween festivals work differently at some parks than they do others. Here the haunted houses are an upcharge attraction, everything else is included. I think this actually works really well because then you don't have people who aren't paying for the haunted houses filling them up. The lines are relatively short for the haunted houses, but yet you can still come in and experience relatively short lines on the regular rides. And plus the season passes here are so cheap, they really need to charge for the haunted houses. So there you go, there's your price. Is $15 for a single house. It's $30 to access all the houses, and $34 will get you all season. These I think are $5 or $10 more than they were the last time I was here a couple of years ago. So I think they're pushing the value of what they can expect to make for this. But if you come back for 3 times, it makes it at $35 a little bit more tolerable. So the first house on the tour is the Zombie Infestation. It's close to the Texas Giant Station. And the Titan entrance right here, there's a wall right over there. They open up that wall, and then the haunted house is in a building back over there. It's hard to see stuff at nighttime, so I'll just do the daytime walking tour. This house I would rank 2nd out of 6. They've got some of the best scares in here, and it's one of the longer houses. I'm not going to get into tremendous detail about the houses because I don't want to spoil anything if you're going to go in there. And also I'm not going to address the level of theming in any of the houses because quite frankly there isn't much of any. It's pretty much just empty halls and then scares. House number 2 is by the rodeo ride, and it is the Piggy's Bloodshed. So in the past this has been my favorite house, or one of my favorite houses. I would say not as strong this year as I've seen it in the past. Not as many characters. There is a nice surprise at the end, and it's still one of the stronger houses. I rank it number 3 this year, Piggy's Bloodshed. Across from Roaring Rapids, not too far away from the Superman Tower, is Circus Circus. I rank this one number 4 out of 6, although there's a pretty significant drop off between number 3 Piggy's Bloodshed and this one. This one is not nearly as good as that one. It's pretty sparse in there, not a whole lot of actors, some interesting lighting conditions with black lights. Medium length house, really just an average experience. In the same building as the Circus. The Circus is the Cadaver Hall Morgue. This one is ranked 6 out of 6, not a whole lot going great for this house. It's the second shortest of the houses, and the only thing I like is that this building is the building that the Batman show used to take place in. I never actually got to see the Batman show, so it's fun to go back and see the theming that used to be back there, but other than that, a forgettable experience here at Cadaver Hall. House number 5 is by Mr. Freeze and Batman here in Gotham City. This is the Blackout. This is a pitch dark house that takes place in a couple of buildings that are used for games and an arcade most of the year. This is the smallest and the house that takes the least amount of time to go through. It's basically just a pitch dark maze with a few actors in there. I ranked this number 5 out of 6. I wish it were a little bit longer and there were more scares in it. Over by the Joker roller coaster, and Harley Quinn is the last haunted house on our tour. It is Hell Block 6, Sentenced to Death. This is the best house in my opinion. It's one of the longest houses, and it takes place in an area where we've never really gotten to see before. This area had always been blocked off, maintenance construction areas, and it takes place in what I believe is a maintenance building back behind here. So this is probably the longest house, and it's kind of like an Arkham Asylum type theme. And so there's a couple of splits where you go different ways. Sometimes they separate people. They really put a lot of time and effort into this one. It has the most scare actors. There's all kinds of surprising things happening all over the place. So this is my number 1 pick. We're gonna finish out the day at the Freaktown Sideshow Fright Zone. So this has some of the more characters. It has more than most of the other ones. So if you're afraid of clowns, you might just want to go ahead and shut off the video now. I'm not really afraid of much of anything. The only thing that really scares me is transgender track stars. So I really like this event. This is probably my second favorite event here at Six Flags Over Texas. I really like their Holiday in the Park event. After a second run through of the houses today, I think the Bloodshed is a little bit better than the Zombie Infestation, so we'll give Bloodshed number 2. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch all the rest of our great videos on the In the Loop YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Ranger signing off from Fright Fest at Six Flags Over Texas. See you next time.